Emily stared at her phone for almost a minute before opening the message from her mother. She expected another reminder about the wedding, maybe a question about flowers, the guest list, or the final payment for the venue. Instead, she read, "You're not invited to the wedding. Emily's fiancé thinks you'll make things awkward." Emily read it twice, then a third time. Her first reaction wasn't anger. It was disbelief. Her little sister was getting married in 3 weeks, and Emily had spent the past 8 months helping make the wedding happen. She had booked the venue. She had paid the deposit for the catering. She had ordered the flowers. She had even covered the photographer because her parents kept saying they were a little short this month. Whenever Emily asked about the money, her mother always smiled and said, "We're family. We'll work it out later." Emily had believed her. She always did. She was the oldest daughter, the responsible one. When the family needed help, Emily helped. When someone needed money, Emily gave it. When there was a problem, everyone called her. But apparently when there was a wedding, she was suddenly the problem. She finally typed, "Okay, if that's what Emily wants, I won't come." Her mother replied almost immediately, "Please don't make this dramatic. Emily just wants her wedding day to be peaceful." Emily laughed quietly. Peaceful? That word hurt more than the invitation itself. She had spent months making sure Emily's wedding was peaceful. She had dealt with the florist when they delivered the wrong flowers. She had called the venue when the seating arrangement was changed. She had negotiated with the caterer when the price suddenly increased. And now she was the person who might ruin everything. Then another message arrived. "Also, can you please make sure the final wedding payments are handled you already promised?" Emily stared at the screen. That was when something inside her finally changed. She opened her banking app. She looked at the thousands of dollars she had already spent. Then she opened the wedding folder on her laptop. Every receipt was there. Every payment, every contract, every message. For the first time, Emily realized something painfully obvious. They didn't want her at the wedding. They wanted her money at the wedding. She called her mother. "Mom, just to be clear, I'm not invited. You heard what I said." And Emily agrees with this. She's under a lot of stress. "That's not what I asked." There was a long silence. Finally, her mother said, "Yes, Emily thinks it's better this way." Emily swallowed. "Okay." Her mother sighed. "Please don't punish your sister. The wedding is too close." Emily almost laughed again. "Punish her? You know what I mean?" "No, Mom, I really don't." Her mother became defensive. "You promised to pay for everything." "Promised to help my sister get married. I never promised to finance a wedding I'm not allowed to attend. You're her sister, and apparently I'm also an embarrassment. That's not fair." Emily looked at the wedding folder on her screen. "Neither is this." She ended the call. For the next 20 minutes she did nothing. Then she opened the venue contract. Her name was on it. The catering contract. Her name. The florist. Her name. The photographer. Her card had paid the deposit. She picked up her phone and called the venue. "Hello," she said calmly. "I need to cancel the wedding services under my payment authorization." The woman on the other end paused. "Are you sure?" "Yes. There may be cancellation fees. I understand." Emily didn't cancel everything immediately. She simply removed herself as the financial guarantor. The next morning the phone call started. First her mother, then Emily, then her father, then Emily's fiancé. Emily ignored all of them. Finally her father left a voicemail. "You need to stop this nonsense. Your sister's wedding is in 3 weeks. Emily called him back. "Dad, I'm not invited." "That doesn't mean you stop the wedding." "I'm not stopping the wedding. I'm stopping my payments." "You can't do that." "Actually, I can." "You're being selfish." Emily took a deep breath. "Dad, when I was selfish, I paid for your car repair. When I was selfish, I helped Mom with her medical bills. When I was selfish, I paid Emily's university fees. And when I was selfish, I spent 8 months planning a wedding. I'm apparently not good enough to attend." Silence. Then her father said quietly, "Emily's fiancé doesn't like you." Emily closed her eyes. "So that's it, he thinks you're too controlling." "Did anyone ever ask why I had to control everything?" Nobody answered. Emily understood. Because if she stopped controlling things, nobody else had planned anything. 3 days later, Emily finally received a message from her sister. "How could you do this to me?" Emily replied, "I didn't do anything to you. I simply stopped paying for an event I'm not invited to." Emily's sister responded immediately. "You're ruining my wedding." Emily looked at the message for a long time. Then she typed, "No, I'm just no longer pretending that I'm part of a family that only remembers me when they need something." She put her phone down. She thought that would be the end of it. She was wrong, because the following morning someone knocked on her apartment door. When Emily opened it, her mother was standing there, and behind her was Emily's fiancé. Her mother looked furious. "We need to talk." Emily stepped aside. "Come in." Her mother walked inside and placed a folder on the table. "You have until tomorrow to fix this." Emily opened it. Inside was a list of unpaid wedding expenses, catering, venue, flowers, photography, decorations, thousands of dollars. Her mother pointed at the list. "You're going to pay these." Emily looked up. For the first time in her life, she wasn't afraid of disappointing her family. She simply smiled. "No," and that one word changed everything. Emily's mother stared at her. "What did you just say?" "I said no." Her sister's fiancé stepped forward. "You understand that people have already been invited, right?" "Yes." "The wedding is in 3 weeks." "I know. You can't just walk away." Emily looked at him calmly. "I already walked away. You just didn't notice because you were still spending my money." Her mother slammed her hand against the table. "You are destroying your sister's happiest moment." Emily shook her head. "No, I'm finally refusing to destroy myself to create someone else's happiest moment." Nobody spoke. Her mother eventually whispered, "How much money do you want?" Emily almost couldn't believe the question. "You think this is about money? You're clearly angry about the money." "I'm angry because my own family told me I wasn't welcome, then immediately asked me to keep paying." Her sister's fiancé looked uncomfortable. Then Emily noticed something. He hadn't said a single word about Emily being awkward. She looked at him. "Did you actually say I shouldn't be invited?" He looked at her mother, then at the floor. Finally, he said, "I just wanted the wedding to be about me and Emily." Emily nodded, and somehow my absence was part of that. He didn't answer. Emily turned to her mother. "You raised me to believe family means supporting each other. But somewhere along the way, support became obligation." Her mother's expression softened. "You're still our daughter. Then why was I treated like an unwanted guest?" Her mother had no answer. The three of them left shortly afterward. For the first time in years, Emily felt strangely peaceful. The wedding planning continued without her. Or at least they tried. The new financial arrangements didn't work. The venue required a new guarantor. The caterer wanted payment up front. The florist cancelled because the deposit had been refunded. The photographer refused to continue without a signed contract. Emily didn't interfere. She didn't celebrate their problems either. She simply stayed away. 2 weeks before the wedding, her sister called. Emily almost didn't answer, but she did. "Hello?" There was silence. Then Emily heard her sister crying. "Emily?" "Yes?" "I'm sorry." Emily closed her eyes. "For what?" "For everything." Her sister began explaining. She admitted that her fiancé had been uncomfortable with Emily because Emily had always been financially independent and confident. He felt that Emily had too much influence over the family. Instead of defending her sister, Emily's mother had chosen the easier solution: exclude Emily. Use her money anyway. Emily listened quietly. Finally, her sister said, "I thought you would still pay." "I know. I was wrong." "Yes, you were. I don't know if the wedding can happen anymore." Emily looked out the window. "You can still get married." "How?" "Have a smaller wedding." Her sister was silent. "You mean cancel everything?" "I mean stop trying to impress everyone." For several seconds neither spoke. Then her sister whispered, "Would you come if I invited you?" Emily felt a tear roll down her cheek. "I would come if you genuinely wanted me there." "I do." "Then I'll come." The wedding was eventually reduced to a small ceremony. No luxury ballroom. No expensive decorations. No hundreds of guests. Just close friends and family. Emily attended, but she didn't pay for it. And somehow that made the day more meaningful. Her sister walked toward the altar in a simple dress. Their mother cried. Their father smiled. Emily sat quietly in the second row. After the ceremony, her sister came to her. "I'm sorry," she said again. Emily hugged her. "I forgive you. But things will be different now, won't they?" Emily smiled. "Yes?" Her sister nodded. "I understand." Emily didn't hate her family. She didn't want revenge. She simply learned something she should have learned years earlier. Being family does not mean being available for unlimited sacrifice. For years, Emily had confused love with responsibility. She thought saying no meant she didn't care. But sometimes saying no is the only way to teach people how to respect you. That night, Emily went home alone. She opened her laptop and deleted the old wedding planning folder. Then she opened a new document. At the top she wrote, "My life paid for by me, lived by me." Chosen by me. She smiled. For the first time, she wasn't the family wallet. She wasn't the emergency solution. She wasn't the person everyone called when they needed something. She was simply Emily. And finally, that was enough.